First this morning, it's time again to focus on your financial future. In years past, many people would make their biweekly contributions to their 401k and then just sit back and let it do its thing. Well, you can't do that anymore, and we have to keep an eye on our investments at every level. Here to talk about the common mistakes to avoid when dealing with your 401k, especially when you're looking to roll it over into another fund, investment expert Don Ross of Ross Wealth Advisors. And Don, it's nice to have you back here again.
Great to be back.
And you've outlined these actually in a booklet, which is very handy for people because it answers a lot of their questions.
It's all about making things handy. People are afraid right now. They don't know what to do, and there's so many options, and there's laws to protect 401k participants now.
Okay, let's talk about the 401k because I have friends who look at it every day. Is it good? I mean, we talk about keeping an eye on it, but how much of an eye do we have to keep on it?
Well, you need to develop a plan of action, and you need to have someone help you. So looking at it every day does not make sense unless you're day trading your 401k, which you should not be doing.
There you go. Dent number one. Don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Okay, so when we talk about the 401k and bringing in somebody who's an advisor, when they start to make that move, how do they know when to do it?
Well, they could do it at any time. Like we talked about before, you can start this at 21 years old. The key is it's a long-term investment.
Right.
But you need to understand what kind of investments you're going to have in there. Are they going to be risky? Could you lose 10 or 20% of your money? So you need to develop a plan of action that is developed or based on the next 20, 30 years.
When it comes time to roll over, when do most folks decide to do that?
Most will retire and roll it over to an IRA, individual retirement account, which now allows them to manage it differently. There's different laws that affect an IRA than a 401k. And I'd like to mention a 401k could also be a deferred comp plan with the state of Ohio. Those are retirement plans you pay into while you're working. Then when you retire, you can roll them over to an IRA. Now, I will say you can, in many cases, do an in-service rollover. That allows you more options within your plan to control yourself.
There's so much. That's why it's important that you talk to folks, too, and sit down with them. And we're going to go through some things in the book, but actually this is just the tip of the iceberg, isn't it?
It is.
You really need to sit down and look at each individual client person.
Absolutely. Everybody's different. Okay. And as you close in on retirement, you want to make sure it's becoming more safe and secure so it's there for you in the future.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the tips to avoid, mistakes to avoid. One is not understanding taxes, and you see the list there. Here's some of the top 5. What do you mean by that?
Taxes are the biggest thing. A lot of people, our industry included, told people, hey, save in these vehicles for your career. It's pre-tax, but it comes out and it's all taxable. And if you're not careful, you're going to pay the most tax. And the IRS says you will be taking withdrawals from this till you're 115 years old. So you will always be paying the tax. It's just a matter of how do you take it out efficiently. A lot of people think, well, when I'm retired, I'm going to be in a lower tax bracket. Well, many people are finding out they're not in a lower tax bracket. And so these taxes coming out of these retirement plans can be very costly.
Well, that'd be a big ouch, wouldn't it, when that finally comes to hit?
Well, a lot of people realize, and the Senate, the HR or our industry said, hey, save in these plans, but then they thought, hey, now it's time to pay the tax. Mm-hmm. So you need to plan it. Okay,
we talk about the risk factor, and that is a big thing that people at a certain age, they have to decide how much risk they want to take.
Very much. The younger people can take more risk as you close in on retirement. You need to tone it down to safer investments, safer, larger stocks, maybe some annuities, maybe some fixed income, which are bonds. And as you close in on retirement, you want to make sure it's safer and safer.
Okay, what other tips for folks to know when they're looking at that 401k?
Well, really the safety of it and how to access their money. Okay, now, when you get into retirement, I got this pool of money. How am I going to start accessing it? How am I going to enjoy it?
Without penalty.
Without penalty. Now, the penalties, there's penalties that apply as far as pre-59.5 years old. Mm-hmm. Okay, 10% penalty. And then when you're retired, you're required to take distributions by the government at 70.5. And if you don't take them out and you miss them, other than 2009, it's a 50% excise tax, or also known as a penalty.
Wow. Okay, so people have to know how to take it out, and that's a big thing, and how you can advise them when, what to do, where to put it.
Yes, and when you do roll over, if you are still working and you're at a certain age, pre-59.5, you can roll it over, and technically you have 60 days to put it into an IRA if you roll it over from a 401k.
And here are some other mistakes to avoid. Not preparing for tax problems, no guaranteed income products. I'm not even sure what that means. What do you mean by that, Don?
There's a lot of products out there that are insurance-based that say, hey, you know what, we're going to pay you X amount a month or a year for the rest of your life, and you cannot outlive that. It's kind of like Social Security. When you start getting Social Security, when is it going to stop? It's not. It's the rest of your life. So there's products out that are designed to do that.
And we want folks to get a copy of this thanks to you. So if you would like a copy, you can reach Don, and you've seen the phone number on our screen as well, the website. Either way, they can contact you, and you'll send them out one of these for our DayTime viewers.
Yes.
Great. Thanks, Don. Nice to have you here. Good advice.
Thanks.